Sturgeon. Jackfish and walleye circle like clouds as he strains the silt floor of his pool, a lost lure in his lip, 5 of diamonds, river runt, lazy Ike, or a simple spoon feeding a slow disease of rust through his body's quiet armor. Kin to caviar, he's an oily mudfish, inedible, indelible, ancient grunt of sea in a warm prairie river, prehistory, a third eye in his head. He rests, and time passes as water and sand through the long throat of him in a hiss as thoughts of food. We take our guilts to his valley and dump them in. Give him quicksilver to corrode his fins, weed killer, gas oil mix, wrap him in poison arms. Our bottom feeder, sin eater. On an afternoon mean as a hook, we hauled him up to his nightmare of us and laughed at his ugliness. Soft sucker mouth opening, closing on air that must have felt like ground glass, left him to die with disdain for what we could not consume. And when he began to heave and thrash over yards of rock to the water's edge and, unbelievably, in, we couldn't hold him, though we were teenaged and bigger than everything. Could not contain the old current he had for a mind, its pull, and his body a muscle called river, called spawn. In praise of grief. Come home from a day in the world, and it talks you down. There's always something you should know, some small way you're fooling yourself. There are people who live whole lives coddled as eggs. You're blessed. Night vision glasses, articulate nurse. It lays barbiturate fingers on your brow, undresses you slowly and stays. Holds your hand until you sleep, mouth watering. It's that sweet, nesting in the cairn of your chest. In fact, a kind of beauty, showing what is not in everything that is. And all it wants to talk about is you. Alert Bay, Labor Day. Rusted boats, Stella Lynn, Pacific Lady, photograph well on black water. Their holds filled with rocks. The men add 1 each night and yell for storms. Happy hour stumbles in from the dock at noon, smelling of fish, or fish-shaped memory, since the fish are gone. Tourists ask if the halibut is fresh. The waitress has a bruise on her cheek. Walls here are made of luck, and girls walk into them. Skid. Black ice squats hairless on the single lane, teeth all knocked out. Molecules still as little hands in its lap, it hums a tune called Faster. You asked for this, a moonless night and snow for Christmas. You and your gun control, your precious profligate antelope, each pair of eyes a swerve. You and your cheap all seasons. Black ice lays low, laughs off the social work of salt and sand. 1 more for the road, it chuckles, spreading. Come on, you can pass this guy. Early in winter. The roads are bad, and you miss your old car. An even-tempered '68 Volvo. Those times jerry-rigged cardboard gaskets and pantyhose fan belts got you home through worse weather. The expansiveness of that gesture. The year's first snow fell at noon and stuck, a thin light resting on the firs that drags out the fade of 4 o'clock and throws a clean sheet over roadkill, a small blessing of dying in winter. There is a loveliness to inadequacy, so simply put. I place a hand on your arm, heavy clothes a door to the warm kitchen of your body. You are deep inside the driving, leaving me to consider the beautiful stall of water frozen in the act of falling from its pious glacier, to my resolve to find an opening in this season. Feet cold, heart wagging its little tail. Driving alone. You learn the names given to light, the visual heft of a boreal forest at noon, or evening, performing by heart its declension above the flatlands, at the expense of your own small word for yourself. A fence that needs mending, the unreadable sign. In the language of local economies, you are table 12, room 105. Pure transaction. A sure thing of money changing hands. At night, scenery and time are nouns you drive through. Double-lane anodyne of wind and tires, unable to lift your eyes from road to stars as might a passenger who in describing their patterns would offer adjectives like a hand around yours in the dark. How beautiful. Yes. A way of naming everything at once. This memory made in a marriage between you.